Well, that's a wrap for sugar snap peas. They're almost petering out, so pretty soon we'll be done with those. And the green beans that I've planted in there. And then, as you can tell, there's lots of tomatoes that popped up in our compost bin through there. So all the compost that I stuck in there has tomatoes running through it. So those hopefully will start producing soon. I've seen a couple small little cherry tomatoes on there, so I honestly have no idea what variety they are. We'll find out. But let me show you the rest of the TP. So as you can see, the snap peas are pretty much petering out, and the beans are starting to get going crazy, and then the tomatoes are just everywhere. And then there's, I think, a couple tamalas snuck in here too. I don't know if they'll do anything because they didn't really do much last year. And then we have a squash in here. I don't know if you guys can see the squash. Not sure what variety it is, but there's beans and quite a few different tomato varieties. This one I think is the blueberry, because this one I think we actually planted. The rest of them came up in the compost. But as you can tell, it's got some little tomatoes on it. And then I noticed on the back side it has tomatoes on it as well, and they're little cherry size. But the sugar snap peas are starting to peter out. As you can tell, some of these have got to be pulled out because they're starting to die off. But it was a good little run while it lasted. We got quite a few. Look, my nest egg gourd has a gourd on it. I don't know if it's gonna do anything because right now there's none of the flowers have popped open yet, but that's exciting that it's starting to produce. It's going crazy on the trellis. And then we have a couple other varieties down in here that are doing really well. And as you can tell, our watermelon that snuck in here. And then we have a couple more gourds, and then all of these are bachelor's buttons, and so they're starting to bloom here. They're all different colors. We've got this one that's a kind of pretty red and white, and then there's a purple variety, and then my zinnias are coming up. So, and then these gourds, along with some more of the sugar snap peas. These ones were put in a little bit later, so they need to be picked. But these gourds are really starting to climb. They're already all the way up to the top here. But it looks like some of these peas can wait for another day before they can be picked. There's just a few of them on here that I've got to pick now. And I'll just stick them in the fridge for the boys for later. Ooh, terrible lighting. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I bent down here to grab another one of the snap peas, and I happened to look down, and the squash, I think this variety is called Scallop, and this thing is pretty big. I know they get a little bigger, but look at this. Looky there. We've got one here. Oh my goodness, and there's another one back there. We'll have to go back around the other side because there's quite a few of them. I wonder if they're ready. I think there's a white one over there that's ready. This one from this side doesn't look like it's quite ready yet, but there's one over there that looks like it might be ready. Holy moly. So, another view of the squash from the back end. But yeah, my poor basil. it's kind of sad, but it smells delicious. Anyway, we have a thyme plant in here, and the oregano is doing really well. Oh, looks like I got a little bit of oh, I can't remember what it's called right now, but yeah, these are not variegated leaves. I'm gonna have to, I guess, do that milk spray somebody was talking about. But all right, back to what we were doing. All right, let me set my basket down here. Are you guys ready to see how tall the tomatoes are? They're just, they're insane. They're going crazy. This one is way taller than I am. I literally have to go way up here to reach the top. This is just crazy. This is the Chadwick cherry variety, and it is loaded along with the blueberry cherry is also loaded with blossoms and tomatoes. We have several variety of the cherries in here that are just, they're just completely loaded. Not sure how much longer before we're gonna be picking, but I suspect in the next couple weeks we'll be picking tomatoes, and all of them will most likely be a cherry variety because it's just completely loaded down. The Romas finally have some on it, and then I have a couple of the bigger ones that are loaded down. But just look at it, they're taller than I am. I'd give it a good couple weeks, and I'm sure I'll be swimming in tomatoes, which I can't wait. Look at that! Look at all those tomatoes. Those are all tomatoes. And then along the fence line, there's just tomatoes. So I'm thrilled. I cannot wait to be swimming in tomatoes. Sauce this year, yes. But look at these little cuties. They're the blueberry, and then we've got some Chadwick cherries on. Oops. Get out of there. There we go. And then we've got more blueberries on. Blueberries are just loaded. And then we have some of the Violet Jasper saladette size that are on here. But yeah, they're just completely loaded. I mean, there's just so many of them. I'm so excited. Here's some more of the Chadwick cherries. There's more of those. And then there's more over here. And then we've got the Romas here that I forgot got planted right next to all the cherry varieties. So yeah, this is exciting. We're here loaded. Oh, wait a minute. I see some more down over on the other side down there. I don't know if you guys can see those or not. But there's some more tomatoes. Let's go check. Let's see. Where are those? Aha! Right there. And I don't remember what variety this is. Oops. I wonder if there's any in the Gold Nugget. Yeah, there are. There's some in the Gold Nugget. Right there. There's some more in the Gold Nugget. Cool. So we're getting there. It's more and more. I hope here's some more of them. There's some more, guys. And that one is the Black Prince. So the Black Prince has some on it. And then these guys, oh, looky here. This Black Prince has a really good size one on right here. Whoop. Look at that. It's a beautiful tomato. Look at the vines in that one. And then the Porter has some on it. But yeah, this just such a pretty tomato. Look at that. I love the little indents in it. That is so cool. Oh, looky here. Either Get Stuffed or Tigerilla, because my tags kind of fell over. So I'm not sure which is which. But look at, they're just full of blossoms. Look at that. I don't know. I don't see any tomatoes yet. It's about time to trim these guys again, because we've got... Oh, look. Here's another set of tomatoes. I don't know what variety that one is, because tags are down. So it could be a Tigerilla, or it could be one of the other varieties. I'll have to look at my notes. But look at this. This is exciting. I got tomatoes on. Now, I don't see any tomatoes. Sorry guys for that twisty whirl. I don't really see any on these down here. But the cilantro has completely gone to seed, as you can tell. And it's definitely gone to seed over here. Because I had to walk over it to get it's falling down. I got more basil coming in here. My cucamelons are trying to take over this bed. And I have flea beetles. They're all over the eggplants. This is my first year with eggplants. Flea beetles are evil. Hopefully we'll be able to get an eggplant and the boys can try it. But yay, I have tomatoes on. How exciting. Yay for tomatoes. I know I'm kind of all over the place today. Sorry guys. The dill. It's going crazy. It's completely taken over this side. And so when you try to walk through, you get kind of touched by all the dill. But if you look, the trellises are just starting to come over with plants. Just a couple weeks ago, there was nothing on either one of these. And now they're starting to fill in, which I cannot wait. I'm hoping, since my Kajari melon survived, yay! I actually have 2 in here, it looks like. So maybe I'll get lucky and have a second one come through. But I have one that's finally big enough, and I'm getting ready to put it back on this trellis. So I'm hoping we get some cucamelons, some Kajari melons, so I can eat those maybe at work or something, and then let the boys try them. But this is exciting. I've got, let's see, some melons that have survived. They look like they're doing really well. They're starting to climb now. And then this stuff is lavender poppy. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I got it in a seed trade. And it's just, the foliage is beautiful on it, but I don't know what it's for. It looks like it's trying to bud out. I might have a flower cone. If anybody knows what to do with this stuff, let me know, because I have no earthly clue. It's my first year growing it. And then we have some crazy tomatoes, of course, that snuck in. And then more cilantro that's bolted. And then as you can see the zinnias down there, and then the squash are just absolutely insane. You can tell where I had to clip a lot of them off so that way these guys would actually get some sun. But yeah, I got tomatoes on. So this whole area here is just full of tomatoes. As you can tell, we have over 100 100 tomato plants, and only about 20 different varieties I grew this year. No, scratch that. There are 13 different varieties, because some of them didn't make it. No, there's more than 13. I'll have to look that up because I don't remember how many varieties there are. That's sad. I just grew a whole bunch of them. But yeah, I'll have to look up how many varieties of tomatoes I did plant because I honestly don't remember. But that was one section of the garden. We'll go back over and I'll show you guys the butternut squash. But there's more plants in here. Plus, there's more tomatoes. I have tomatoes everywhere. And then there's peppers. And finally have a holy basil that's living. Let me get these vines out of the way that I forgot to when I pulled out. But I finally have some holy basil. And it's just now, I'm just now starting to smell it. Because at first I was like, it doesn't smell all that good. But now that it's finally growing, oh, it smells good. But let me show you the peppers because they are just starting to produce some flowers. Alright, here's the peppers, guys. We've got several different varieties. They're all sweet peppers or bell peppers. So none of these are hot. And they're just starting to flower. So I've got a few with flowers on them. None with peppers yet, but they are starting to flower. And then this poor tomato is trying to come out. And the cucumbers are trying to take it over. But it's one of the orange beefsteaks. And it is finally going crazy. But not sure if it's got, it looks like it might have one tomato on it right now. And then it's got some blooms. But we finally got, oh shoot, okay. So I'd say no. We finally got these cucumbers to take off and they are starting to climb this trellis. And this is the one that the boys are very, oh, sorry about that, but it's trying to get me. The boys are very excited about this one because it goes up and around and it's just above my head. So the boys are very excited to hopefully have cucumbers, as they say, knocking themselves in the head. But this bed here in front of us is the boys' garden bed. These are tomatoes that just grew up in the compost, except for, of course, this one. This is the Tesla Current variety. It makes these really teeny tiny tomatoes. I've not gotten any off of it yet because the birds actually ate the last ones that were starting to turn ripe. And I know there were some more ripe ones. Oh, here they are. They're not quite ripe yet. They're getting there though. But see how tiny they are? They're teeny tiny. And so they've also got cucumbers on here. Some of them are doing well, and some of the cucumbers, they didn't get pollinated. But yeah, they left all of these tomatoes because they said they wanted to see what they did. So it's the boys' garden bed, not letting them have it. And then we have some beans back here. They're a yellow bean variety, which a few of them look like they might be ready to pick. Then I got potatoes that are growing in my compost bin. I always get potatoes in my compost. And then we have some more beans that I just planted after I took out some of the onions, which I got more onions to take out. And then I think that one is spaghetti squash. I'll have to look at my packet that I brought out. I don't remember which one it was, but I think that's spaghetti squash. Because one was spaghetti squash and the other is another variety. But, oops, get back here. You don't belong in there. It's like I got a weed. I know, I'm showing you guys the unkept garden area. Then here's some more of the potatoes. These, it looks like these guys, it's almost time to start digging these guys up and see if there's any more potatoes down there. We did dig up some potatoes and they were doing really well. We got a good basket full of potatoes out of here, which I was very excited about because this is my first year with potatoes. And then, what tomato variety is that one? Oh, this is the red pear. Okay, so we have some red pear on. Sorry if I make you guys dizzy. Looks like I've got to pick some onions again. They've completely flowered. And then I've got to rework this bed to put more beans. As you can see, we've added more bush beans because, you know, I want to have beans for the winter. My goal is to have enough beans to put away for all winter long. And then over here, we've got some more tomatoes, of course, and more peppers. And let's see, oh, this cucumber is trying to take over the peppers. No, buddy. Sorry, you go over there. Ow. Forgot how much cucumbers try to poke me. I think there were too many in there. I forgot to thin them after the boys planted. Whoops. Oh well. Survival of the fittest, guys. Anyway, peppers. There's quite a few different varieties of peppers. Oh. This one has a little tiny pepper on it. Yay. And then as you can see the kale down there, I got to start picking on it again because it's doing beautiful. And then these tomatoes are just going absolutely bonkers. And yes, I know I have to water. And then I got some carrots in here. Some of the carrot leaves are looking gorgeous, but the carrots just, they're not very big at all. And then, yeah, I know, I got more tomatoes back here. Underneath all that stuff down there. Behind that. All that back there is tomatoes. In fact, I've got more tomato plants that are sitting outside the greenhouse because they were overheating in there that I just ran out of space for. So if anybody wants a tomato plant. But here's some more squash. And then we have a broccoli. And looky there, I got a broccoli head. Little tiny broccoli head. This time of year, broccoli just doesn't do well for me in the springtime. It's because it gets too hot too quickly. I'm going to try again in the fall and see if I can get some broccoli out of it. But broccoli me and broccoli just do not get along, apparently. I cannot grow it. That one's the first one that's actually growing. The last year's one that I grew, foliage was beautiful. It came to have little broccoli heads on it, and then whoop, they went to flower. So we'll see how that does. But I have potatoes in my compost bin. Looks like I'll be trying to dig those up. But no, the boys' poor peppers are being overshadowed by tomatoes. But that's about it for this side of the garden. Hello guys. Let me go take you over to the other end and we'll check out the butternut squash and then the rest of the tomatoes that are all along the fence line. Ooh. That door likes to stick. Oh, well, hello, Freckles. Come to say hello. The dogs are saying hello today. Hi, Rago. He was alive in the last video. Over here we have blueberries. Yeah, don't look at that garden bed. It needs a lot of work. And then, let me show you the pumpkin that we... Okay, so this is the pumpkin that we've just kind of let rot in the yard, and it is growing beautifully. I've had to train it so it goes along this edge here and not back up to the front, because that's going to be a pain to mow. But if it stays along this edge, I can weed eat around it. But we'll see how long it lasts and how big of a pumpkin we'll get, because these are white pumpkins. And then here is our butternut squash, and I know I've got some more powdery mildew to deal with. But look at these sunflowers. They're getting taller. They're probably not going to be very high. But But the butternut squash are finally starting to run down the hill like I wanted them to. Ooh, sorry guys, I know I'm making you dizzy. But this is elderberry, so is this one. And it looks like I gotta control some of the vines that are trying to take them over. I hate these vines. They're a pain in the butt. Here's another one. These right here are the bane of my existence. I hate these things. And then another row of tomatoes. See if I can not fall on my butt down this tarp. But look, we have butternut squash. We'll see if they live. But we've got some, and then we have some of the leaves that are powdery mildew. And this is an apple tree that it's got to be trimmed. It didn't really produce this year. It tried. I think it's because it needs to be fertilized. But here's some more tomatoes. The tomato row. And then another sunflower that the boys planted. I think there were several in this area, but it looks like only one has lived. And then these tomatoes, they're in the dog run. My dog likes to run through there and bark at the neighbor for some weird reason. So they're not getting as much love as the other ones. Oh, look, here's another tomato. But all of this, all the way down there, is tomato. Yes, I know, I have way too many tomatoes. But here's another look at the trellis and more of the tomatoes. Well, that's kind of it for today. You guys kind of got to see all of pretty much everything. Hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll have more things to harvest. Right now it's just been beans and a couple of the squash, as you guys saw. Pretty soon we'll have tomatoes, the greenhouse tomato. I'll probably show you guys that sometime later this week because it's not ripe yet, but it's getting there. And that's the plant that has survived in there since September of last year. So I can't wait to see if it survives a whole nother winter. We'll see if we can get 2 seasons, or should say 3 seasons out of that plant. So we'll see. Alright, I wasn't going to show you, but look, they're blushing. They're starting to turn. I'm going to have a ripe tomato soon to eat from the garden. Let's see. This thing has been encased in mulch. Ooh, I gotta water him. No wonder he looks kind of sad. He's been in this poor heat and not had any water. But anyway, bye guys. Yes, these are the dead tomatoes. Don't look at those. Some of them would probably live if I give them a little TLC, but a lot of them are very sad. It's the tomatoes are, yeah. Anyway, back to everything else.